The novels of Jane Austen cast spells on playwrights. Her work harbors delicious satire and irony, but wittily, slyly. The characters' dialogue is also often witty and sometimes sly, when not comically foolish. And the intriguing complications of the plots resolve with such satisfaction. They seem almost ready-made for the theater. And so they have been, with multiple adaptations for stage and screens large and small. Unfortunately, no small part of the charm of Austen's novels lies in Austen herself as the narrator, and dramatic scenes generally do not have narrators. Show, don't tell is one of the great guiding principles for drama. Christopher Baker, the playwright whose adaptation of Austen's Pride and Prejudice is now on the Browning main stage at the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, manages to place the most familiar and opening line of the novel in the mouth of one of the characters on the stage. That character is, of course, Elizabeth Bennet, the heroine of the novel and play, and probably the smartest person in either. By following that example when he can, and with the help of director Hannah S. Sharif and the actors, the playwright's adaptation and the rep's production provide a reasonable equivalent to the wit, charm, and wisdom of the novel. Elizabeth Bennet is one of the daughters, 5 in the novel, 4 in the play, of a gentleman with a small estate on the income of which the family can live with some comfort. But when Mr. Bennet dies, the estate and its income, thanks to English inheritance law at the time, will pass not to Mrs. Bennet and their daughters, but to the nearest male relative, leaving wife and daughters destitute. It is therefore urgent that the daughters find husbands of means to provide for them. That is the main ambition of Mrs. Bennet, who is given great maternal concern and fluttery charm at the rep by Michelle Hand. Hand also turned the lemon of an opening night broken couch leg disaster into the lemonade of brilliantly improvised multiple reactions. Michael James Reed's calm, quiet Mr. Bennet dryly opposes her at each step, though with perhaps greater and wiser affection for their daughters. Katie Clyger brings to Elizabeth the intelligence, attractiveness, and open honesty that keep our attention focused on her. She wisely rejects the proposal of Mr. William Collins, the distant cousin who is to inherit her father's estate, a clergyman of pious manner and high self-esteem, as played by Blake Siegel, nobly offering to provide for her. Her mother is furious at her rejection of the safe port he offers. But Elizabeth has already enchanted the aloof, superior, distant Mr. Darcy, and through many twists and turns, they are destined for each other. And Elizabeth's friend Charlotte Lucas, played by Rebecca Miller, does accept Mr. Collins. Rebecca Hayden plays lovely Jane Bennet, who also, through twists and turns, joins in mutual love with Grayson de Jesus's gentle Mr. Bingley. Sidney Lycer's flirtatious Lydia Bennet finds a somewhat dubious partner in Mr. Darcy's military friend, Mr. Wickham, played by Stephen Michael Spencer. Maison Kelly produces an astounding voice when Sister Mary entertains the guests, though she is perhaps more like the Kitty of the novel than the Mary. Jenny Greenberry keeps a superior distance as Mr. Darcy's snobbish sister. Eric Dean White doubles as a servant and as Mrs. Bennet's brother, Mr. Gardner. Ramey Cornell plays his wife. Lizen Mitchell is a servant in Act 1, and Mr. Darcy's imperious aunt, Lady Catherine de Bourgh, in the second. Teresa Doggett fusses as Mr. Darcy's housekeeper, Gary Love is Colonel Foster, and 8 conservatory students dance at the balls richly choreographed by Ron Todorowski, during which couples begin to emerge. Scott Bradley's gracious set served for various places, aided by Alex Basco-Coke's projections and Xavier Pierce's lighting. Dorothy Marshall Inglis's costumes enhanced everyone's appearance while making class distinctions. Nathan A. Roberts and Charles Coase composed music for the sound design, and the work of voice and dialect coach Joanna Battles was evident throughout. I always find it pleasant to spend time with Jane Austen's creations in whatever medium.
This was a good adaptation. As you said, Michelle Hand's heroism on opening night was truly memorable.
Yes, it was.
I hope you liked the reviews on Two on the Aisle. You can click here to see other reviews and to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to be reminded immediately after we post. Enjoy the reviews.